What's our topic for today here on Camera Talk? Something like that? You know what that is? Flash, flash. Look at the size of that sucker. Big, huh? Ever seen anything that big?
That's what she said.
Well, it's not exactly, well, it's Leica. But the camera, or the lens itself is not exactly a Noctilux. It's a Not-ilux. It's a nice nickname for it. But this week we're looking at the 50mm 0.95 aspherical from China. It's the TTArtisan version of the Noctilux. Not quite the same, but pretty darn close, I must say. Right? So let's get it on and let's check this out together, and we'll see if it's worth all the fuss. But it's certainly worth the price, that's for sure. Because how much is a Noctilux? $12,795.
Holy crap!
This is only $755. Woo, if it does the same kind of thing, hey, why not, right? Save some money. So let's check it out together. And, well, this guy's not going to join me for the video, just for the intro. But anyway, let's check it out and see what the TTArtisans is all about. All right, so come on back.
Here I am in Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott. All right, this week, it's not quite as special as it sounds, but it's something close enough to special anyway.
Well, isn't that special?
You know, for those who know, Leica man in Vietnam. You know, I've done a few episodes about my Leica cameras and the various lenses that I have. Well, of course, every Leica owner kind of lusts after the Noctilux. Whether it's the 50.95 or whether it's the 75.125 or one of the older renditions of the 50, the 1.0 or the 1.25, which was reintroduced, or re-released, I should say, just last year or the year before. But anyway, everybody lusts after these. But why don't most Leica users have a Noctilux? Price tag, baby. A Noctilux, brand new, 50mm 0.95 goes for $12,795 USD.
Get the fuck out of here.
Now, if you got that kind of money just rolling around because, hey, you're a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever, well, it's no big deal to you. But for us average Joes, that's a lot of coin. So, for most of us, again, it's just a dream. It would be nice to have one of those someday. Maybe you can rent one at some time, or maybe a friend has one who will let you borrow it he'll trade you for your car or something like this. But I've got something today that'll get you almost there for a fraction of that price. So today, what I'm talking about is another version of a 50mm 0.95, and there's a few of them out there on the market. But this one is about as close to a Noctilux as you can get. And so we kind of nicknamed it the Noctilux. So it's not the Noctilux. What it is it's a 50mm 0.95 made in China. Where actually a lot of lenses are actually made these days anyway. But this one is inspired by the Noctilux, and it is built by a company called TTArtisan. From what I've read somewhere, I forget where I saw it, but the TT would stand for the thinking artisan. No relation to 7-artisan, who makes a bunch of other economical lenses. I've got a few of them up here for my APS-C Canon M50. But anyway, TTArtisan came up with this in 2019, and kind of knocked the world on its ear, so to speak, when they found out that you could purchase something like this, which, as I said, is inspired by the Noctilux, but this costs only $755 USD.
What you talking about?
And I didn't even pay for that because this is used, so I even got a better deal than that. Actually, the gentleman who I purchased this from actually went ahead and colored in some of the letters, the distance markers in red, because they come in all black, so it's good for differentiating between the two measurements. So again, this was a fraction of the price of a Noctilux. And you know, if you see them, if you go head to head, and there's a number of videos out there, in YouTube land, as well as, you know, written reviews on the internet, with photos provided, that do some pretty good comparisons and some blind tests too, and they're pretty tough to tell. Here's one here. You tell me which one is the Noctilux and which one is the TTArtisan. Yeah, it's pretty tough, isn't it? They look pretty darn similar, but I'll let you know which one's which. So anyway, sort of, you know, do a comparison, because I don't have, you know, a Noctilux, obviously I mentioned already. But if you look at the specs on these things, I mean, look at that glass on there. It's a lovely piece of glass. You know, as far as elements and groups and things go, you know, Leica's Noctilux has 8 elements in 5 groups. This one has 11 elements in 8 groups. We'll see what the difference is by having more elements. Actually, one difference between the types of elements is the Noctilux has 2 aspherical lenses. The TT has 1. So it's 1 less aspherical lens, so that may make a difference. When it comes to close focus distance, the Noctilux is 1 meter, the TT is 70 centimeters. So it's the same minimum focus as my my Summilux, my 50 and my 35 Summilux. So again, this has the, you know, the shorter close focus distance. Well, that's nice. How about blades? Aperture blades. The Noctilux has 11 bocalicious aperture blades. The TTArtisan has 14. 14. So that's 3 more blades. Does that really make a difference? I guess we'll have a look at the bokeh to see if it's any smoother or any rounder or anything else to compare. And how about weight? This is pretty hefty, right? But so is the Noctilux. The Noctilux is, you know, comes recorded anyway at 700 grams. This one's 687. So it's a little bit lighter. It's all metal. There's no plastic anywhere on it. But one of the great selling features of the TTArtisans here, which no Leica lens can offer, is its ability to be calibrated. Now it comes with, I think I have it in here somewhere. Here it is. This itsy bitsy tiny teeny weeny, it's not a polka dot bikini, but it's it's a very small Allen wrench, and there are 3 screws that this little baby tiny little wrench here, or screwdriver, can alter the pitch and the yaw of the rear element, therefore calibrating or fixing the focus, you know, center sharpness and whatnot. So it's, again, what other lens offers this kind of capability? Is that excellent, or is that excellent? How about the front cap? This is all metal. You know, Leica's Noctilux comes with a plastic cap. This one, metal cap. And it's quite hefty too. You can probably use this to fend off any thieves trying to steal your Leica camera. It's It's like a ninja star minus the pointy parts. Anyhow, one thing that the Noctilux has that this doesn't is a built-in hood. There's no hood on here. Actually, it doesn't even come with a hood, which is odd because all the other TTArtisan lenses come with hoods. But it's a 67 millimeter filter thread, so you can just screw on a hood if you so desire. I have a B&W UV filter on there just to protect the front element, because the fact that this is metal, I'm just kind of worried if I put it on and off and I get the wrong angle or drop it, I might ding the front element, and don't want to do that.
9 doctors out of 10 doctors probably agree.
So anyhow, that and those are the specs and the comparisons between the Not-ilux, Noctilux and the Noctilux. So anyway, let's talk about some strengths and weaknesses of this this bad boy. Let's go with the negative stuff first. Everybody likes misery loves company, right? So negatives of this: corner, they suck. Doesn't matter whether it's wide open at 0.95 or it's stopped all the way down to f16, which is the maximum. It goes from 9.5 to f16. Corners suck in all apertures. Oh well.
They suck. They just suck.
This is not exactly going to be used for landscape or anything anyway. This is just like, you know, just like the Noctiluxes. They're kind of a specialty lens, you know, the one-trick pony type thing. You buy it for one specific thing, and that's the 0.95 and the bokeh, right? Because this is freaking, you know, 687 grams. If I want a 50 millimeter lens that can get really great sharpness, I'm going to use either my Summicron or my Summilux if I'm in lower light situations, and I'll have much better rendition that way. But in certain circumstances, again, for the bokeh and you know, portraiture and low light, this is a cool lens, and that's what you buy it for. So yeah, corner sharpness, who cares really? Flares, you know, again, without the hood, you know, it tends to have some wicked flaring going on. So the way to remedy that, of course, is put a hood on it, or just don't shoot into the sunshine or with the sun coming at an angle at it anyway. So that's one thing. At night, you could also get some coma. And again, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's potential to happen. Again, because of also the low or the smaller opening at the rear, because it's designed for you know, for Leica M bodies. It has a tendency to vignette, which again can be corrected in your post-editing software, whichever one you use. I happen to use Luminar. Distortion, you know, again, something this big, this wide open, you kind of have to expect some sort of distortion. Distortion is a little wavy. Really, you're not going to see it unless you look for it, you know. And again, it could be corrected in your editing software as well. So you might think, oh my God, listen to all the negatives. Who wants to buy something like that? Oh, what about the positives? It's pretty sharp in the middle. You know, isn't that, you know, again, for portraiture and whatnot, isn't that what you're looking for anyway? Is to, you know, get things somewhat right in the middle. Now you can venture off, you know, the midfield is not that bad either. It's not as good as the center, but it's not as bad as the corner, so it's not that bad. It's pretty good for chromatic aberration correction built in. Now the bokeh, of course, I mentioned that already. Bokeh is pretty great. Now, especially, it's, you know, some people can be pickier than others, but it tends to have better bokeh from 1 to 3 meters in that range. You know, you get a pretty sweet melting background. That's my 135. I took a couple photos with this that I have on my slideshow already. But Beyond that though, you know, you get 5 to 6 meters in that range, you can get okay bokeh, but anywhere beyond that, really, you're going to get some nervous bokeh or scattered bokeh, which may not be so pleasing to others. Has great sun stars. You know, again, from those aperture blades, but of course you have to stop down for that. Great build quality. Again, for $755, this is nice. You know, if you feel it, and the fact that you can calibrate it. Again, Leica doesn't give you that option. You have to send it off to Germany, or you know, one of the local dealers who could do calibration. Spend a whole whack of money on it, and they don't do it overnight either. It's going to take weeks, if not months, and finally get your lens back. So anyway, so that's a great bonus. But again, do you really need to calibrate it? I mean, if it's way off, okay, sure. But you know, in today's day and age, especially with M10s and whatnot, you've got live view, so you know you have the focus assist happening there. Now on your film cameras and whatnot, don't get that option, so you do need to calibrate. And from what I have read online, you're better off to calibrate at infinity, and then you know work your way back from there, or treat this as a just to avoid the problem between 70 centimeters and 1 meter, is to just use it at 1 meter. You know, just think in your mind that the close focus is the same as the Noctilux, and it's 1 meter, and then you can't go wrong from there. So anyway, that is kind of, that last one was took from this yesterday. The kind of what I wanted to get with that. So I'm gonna obviously show you some photos that I took with the with my M10, but also with my A7R2. You know, with the handy dandy world of adapters that we live in these days, your mirrorless camera can pretty much be adapted to anything. So so I took some photos. Actually, that one I was just talking about, I took with the A7R2. So same thing, little adapter on there, boop boop. Plunk that onto the camera and away you go. With the M, obviously it's an M mount. You just lock it right on there and you're good to go. So as usual, I'm going to show you, you know, my point of view from here. I'm, you know, about 1.5 meters, 1.75 meters away from the camera. It's the Canon M50 that I use to record my videos, and I focus in on the nameplate on the end of the 15 to 45 lens that's on the camera right now. So let me do that. Starting with the M10. Lock that in. I'm going to do wide open to begin with, and then pick what. Let's do 0.95 and 0.56 just to maybe, yeah, let's do 5.6. Anyway, as I said, because this is a rangefinder with live view, I'm going to use live view to focus in on the end of the lens here. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, very nice. Let's say I get to see the bokeh, the quality of the out of focus background here. All right, so again, this is at 5.6. So same thing. Let me refocus to get the focus peaking on the end of the lens. 1, 2, 3. All right. So that was samples of this on my M10. Now I also shot that at auto white balance and at 250. So anyway, let me get this onto my A7R2 and show you that. So while we're waiting, let's take a look at some shots of Dylan. Everybody knows Dylan, right? He was in my intro, but he's my little son, 18 months old. Aww. I know if you look at his picture, he looks like he's 4 years old or so, but he's only 18 months, only a year and a half. So anyway, I think it's the hair, lots of hair. It's because we don't like to shave the kid's head. You know why? Give him hair. If he likes hair, give him hair. Anyway, so here's some shots of Dylan with the TTArtisan at 0.95 on my M10. All right, so let's put this on the A7R2. So let me line up the red dots so I can get the adapter on here. All right. Let me take off my, what do I got on here? Oh, Carl Zeiss 50 millimeter, very nice lens. Contacts Yashica mount. So here we are on my A7R2. All right, so same thing, starting at 0.95. Let me get a focus in on the end of the lens, right there. Oh, nice and sharp. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that was at 0.95. Let me now put this at 5.6 and hang on. Put that on aperture priority so that it brightens it up a little bit. So this is at 5.6 now. Same thing. Make sure I focus peak and got that little red on the end. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that was at 0.95 and at 5.6, just to show you what it can do on this big 42 megapixel sensor as well. So that was that. Hang on, let me take this off of here. And here, of course, are some shots of Dylan on the A7R2. Okay, so that was pretty much it. The TTArtisan 50 millimeter, 0.95. Is it worth $750 to $50 or $755? Brand new?
Yeah, baby.
I'd say sure, without a doubt. Again, the bang for the buck, so to speak, what you get for $755 is pretty good. And again, even to save even more money, which is what modesty photography is all about, right? Saving you money and tips and tricks and things like this. Get it used, like I did. Not only did I get it used and save a bunch of money, but the guy who had it before me customized it, you know, with painted painted stops. Like I'll show you because obviously you can't see it. That let me focus in on that. You see the red distance markers on there. Normally they're all black. Well, these ones are red on top and black on the bottom. So anyway, back onto me. So that, again, that was that. Could I recommend it? Yes. Again, good bang for the buck. Now, this is not going to be your walk around every day 50 millimeter. But for those special occasions when you want some, great portraits, you're working in low light situations, maybe just under the moonlight or things like this, this may come in quite handy. But again, for landscape and just walking around the streets with it, you may give it a try and see if that's your thing. But I have other 50 millimeters, even the Carl Zeiss there is going to be better quality all around, especially if you're moving apertures and you're looking for sharpness across the screen and everything else, or across the entire sensor. But if you're looking for something cool, this fits the bill. All right, so with that said, let me just touch on a couple other things. Software, photo editing software. Luminar AI and Luminar Neo, the one coming out, are what I've bought into the system. They had Luminar 4, which I have, but they've discontinued that. Now they're bringing out a Luminar Neo, which is a bigger bang for the buck. Click on the link below, you'll save yourself 10 bucks. Normally it's like $65 or so. So you click on that link and it's only 55. So who doesn't mind saving 10 bucks? And a little kickback for me while we're at it. Why not help Dr. Scott out? And since we're helping Dr. Scott out, why not subscribe, right? Because you know how the algorithm works. The more subscribers, the more it ends up on different people's, different people's suggestion, recommendation. So subscribe. And after you subscribe, why not tell your mom or your sister or your neighbor or your favorite teacher to subscribe. And last but not least, besides the thumbs up, also give me some thumbs up too while you're at it. Why not? It doesn't cost you anything. Thumbs up for the thumbs up girls. And so last but not least is stay safe out there, right? With all the COVID and everything going around, wear your mask when you're in crowds, regardless of whether you're vaccinated or not. As I keep teaching my students, I'm a teacher, so I tell my students all the time, just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean you're 100% protected and you'll never get COVID. What the fuck? It just means that your immune system is boosted a little, and it'll, your chances of fighting it off are much better. So the last thing you want to do is get COVID, but not only COVID, but have an acute reaction to it and end up hospitalized or something. So stay safe out there, right? Because I want you to come on back next week and watch my next video. Because remember, you belong here at Camera Talk with Dr. Scott. So anyhow, you enjoy your week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you in the next video. Yeah? All right, so come on back next week. See ya. Bye-bye.
Here I am.